When you think of Bruce Lee, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most of us, right, it's the lightning-fast kicks, the nunchucks, that iconic yellow jumpsuit. We see the warrior, the action hero. But behind that martial arts master was a seriously deep, profound thinker. So today, we're going to explore the man behind the myth, the philosopher behind the fists, drawing from his own personal writings and striking thoughts.
And look, it wasn't just his fans who saw this deeper side. His close friends, people like the Hollywood legend Steve McQueen, they knew it too. McQueen said Lee's whole thing was simple, but wow, was it profound. Know yourself. And that quest, that journey into self-knowledge, that's the foundation for everything we're about to get into.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. I want you to think of it like an ascending path, almost like we're climbing a mountain. We'll start with the man himself, then move up through his core principles, the idea of emptying your cup, then flowing like water, and finally reaching that summit, what he called the process of becoming, before we tie it all together with the path of the warrior. Ready? Let's go. All right, first up, we've got to bridge this gap we all have in our minds between the action star and the deep thinker. But here's the secret. For Bruce Lee, that gap, it didn't exist. His physical brilliance was just an extension of his inner philosophy. They were one and the same. Actor James Coburn, another one of Lee's students and close friends, just nailed it with this. Martial arts wasn't just a skill for Bruce Lee. It was his medium for self-expression. It was how he made his life philosophy physical. It was, just like Coburn said, real art. So, with that in mind, let's jump into the very first lesson on his path. So, where do you even start on a journey like this? Well, to learn anything truly new, to genuinely grow, Lee believed you first had to unlearn. And this is all wrapped up in the principle of empty your cup. Lee loved to tell this story to his new students. So, picture this. A very knowledgeable scholar goes to visit a Zen master. As the master starts to speak, the scholar just keeps interrupting, showing off everything he already knows. So the master starts pouring tea. He fills the scholar's cup and then just keeps pouring as it spills all over the table. The scholar shouts, "Stop, it's full, it's overflowing." And the master just calmly replies, "Like this cup, you are full of your own opinions. If you do not first empty your cup, how can you possibly taste my tea?" Now, this is absolutely key. When Lee talked about emptiness, he wasn't talking about a negative thing, not some void or nothingness. It was the complete opposite. It's a state of pure potential, of total openness, where you're finally actually ready to receive new insights and truly learn something. And Lee just drove the point home with his own words. The whole usefulness of a cup isn't what it already holds. It's in its capacity to hold something new. It's the same with our minds. Think about it. In a fight, a mind that's already full of plans is going to be slow and rigid. But an empty mind, it can react instantly to what is, not what it expects. And that is the crucial first step to wisdom, admitting you have room to learn. Okay, so your cup is empty, you're ready. Now what? What do you fill it with? For Bruce Lee, the answer wasn't a fixed set of rules. No, it was a dynamic process. And this brings us to his most famous idea of all. Be like water. Just look at this contrast here. On one side, you have stagnation, being rigid, fixed, stuck. He basically called this a kind of death. But on the other side, that's movement. That's being pliable, flexible, spontaneous. That is life. As Lee himself wrote, life is never stagnation. It is a constant movement. Things live by moving and gain strength as they go. So, how do you stay in that state of movement? How do you actually flow? By focusing intensely on the present moment. For Lee, the past is just a memory, and the future, well, it isn't real yet. The only reality, the only place where life is actually happening is right here, right now. This quote, man, it's just beautiful, isn't it? It's the practical application of the whole philosophy. When you're in action, be adaptable, be formless, like water. When you're still, be a clear, non-judgmental observer, just like a mirror. In your interactions with others, respond naturally, without ego, just like an echo. All right, let's recap. We've emptied our cup, we're learning to flow with life, but where is this path actually taking us? This is where we reach the summit of that mountain we talked about, the ultimate goal of Bruce Lee's philosophy, what he called the process of becoming. And this is not about becoming someone else or trying to fit into some kind of mold. It is the exact opposite. It's about actualizing the person you already are. It's this continuous process of gaining self-knowledge to figure out who you are, finding honest ways to express that person without faking it, always embracing growth and discovering the incredible power that lies in simplicity.
And you don't have to take my word for it. In his own introduction to these thoughts, Lee made his core message crystal clear. He wasn't interested in people creating some fake self-image. He wanted them to go on a journey of self-discovery and find their own honest way of expressing who they truly are.
Okay, so this is all great philosophy, but how do we actually use it? How do we live it? This is where we frame all these ideas as the path of the warrior. And I don't mean a warrior who fights other people, but one who seeks to master themselves. And if you want proof that Lee lived this stuff, just look at one of the worst moments of his life. After a crushing back injury, doctors told him he might never walk right again, let alone do martial arts. He was stuck in bed for 6 months. But he didn't see it as the end. He saw it as an opportunity. He used that time to read, to think, and to put together the very notes that would become the book, Striking Thoughts. And that just flips the whole question back onto us, doesn't it? Lee's wife, Linda, said his answer to any problem was to turn a stumbling block into a stepping stone. So I ask you, what's a stumbling block in your life right now, big or small, that you could maybe reframe as a stepping stone for growth? And that's really the heart of it all. That's the crucial takeaway. The path of the warrior philosopher, the one Bruce Lee walked, isn't about an external battle. It's the internal one. It's the daily practice of emptying your cup, flowing with life, and continuing that lifelong, amazing process of becoming yourself. So, that brings me to you. What does your own warrior path look like? I'd genuinely love to hear your thoughts, so drop them in the comments below. And if you're interested in exploring more warrior archetypes and these kinds of concepts that help us understand ourselves, definitely follow for more deep dives.